microphone in a little bit, see what she does. It's breaking loose all the time, Oh, you get into trouble real quick with it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if the cops would give Captain America a ticket, Welcome to an episode of Jay Leno's Garage, the car featuring today 1967 Camaro with somewhat of a celebrity provenance. This is a car we'll be featuring in this upcoming week's episode of Jay Leno's Garage on CNBC. This belongs to Chris Evans, big-time movie star. He's been in the Avenger films. Very nice guy, very down-to-earth guy from my home state of Massachusetts. And there's a whole celebrity thing involved. Robert Downey was involved in helping put this car together. It's pretty cool. Let's bring in Dave Savaggio. He's been here before. He had the Midget Racer and other speed car cars. These guys do great work. So tell us the story here. Robert Downey Jr. was involved in this. What's the whole deal?
Yeah, we've done 3 cars for Robert, and this was actually the first one. And the whole goal of this vehicle was to give it to Chris Evans as a gift in the end. Robert was kind of shopping the first-gen Camaro. Originally, he was looking for a 69, and he acquired a 67, had a shop started, and then things didn't work out, and it actually evolved to us. Robert got really involved on the build. He really liked the 67 because of the vent windows and a couple other things that made the 67 unique. And then actually got some choice colors and leathers. Robert was, really digging into it. So.
Well, how do you have a vent window and a side mirror? You really can't do that.
You can only open it limited.
Yeah, that's
second-gen mirrors on there.
Yeah. But then you go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
that's kind of a problem. And it's got the Captain America logo on the steering wheel. Now, was Chris surprised by this? Did he have any idea this was coming?
Yeah, they did the third Avengers movie that came out. Robert had it shipped to Atlanta where they were filming, gave it to Chris as a gift on set. Great. And it's funny because Chris, wasn't really a car guy per se. He'd been doing acting since 18.
Right.
He'd been really studying the craft, but, like all boys, we dream of cars.
Right.
And when he saw it, he loved it. He loved the color. That was kind of the design in Robert's mind. So going back to Robert, he's super creative, and he's really good with colors and just kind of putting everything together.
Yeah, it's a great color. What a great guy Chris Evans is. I really liked him. He came on Tonight with me a couple of times, and he brought a couple of his goofball buddies from Massachusetts. I always thought guys bring their high school friends. High school friends give you no respect at all.
Yeah.
They're just screwing around. But very nice, down-to-earth guy, no movie star head, none of that nonsense. And we shot a whole piece of this where we did some stunt driving. And he was really good. I really, really enjoyed him. But let's get back to the car. What motor do we have here?
So I have an LS3, which is a great engine. GM kind of nailed it with that. That's what I call the versatile beginner's engine, if you will. Great package. We use the GM controller and harness. And then Chris drove it for about 3-4 months till winter came. And then we called Whipple, and we said, hey, we're just going to try and get more power. Chris has learned the car. He's got the dynamics. And they sent us a 2.9-liter supercharger, Whipple did, and it's been about 12 pounds of boost. We're getting about 730 right now at the crank.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think we're like 580, 590 at
and that's
tires.
On pump gas, right?
And that's on pump gas, yeah, 92.
Yeah, 4-speed automatic, right?
Yes, yeah, 4L80E, push button by PCS makes that. So
tell me about suspension and brakes.
4-link in the back, and then in the front, we're using Detroit Speed. A lot of builders use them. They've kind of nailed it on the front subframe and everything that they have for the F-body. So we like using their stuff. Other builders could redo it and do other stuff, but they've already nailed it, so we like using their work.
Right.
Bear 6 pistons are great brakes. HRE did a really nice wheel package for us, and this seems to work nicely.
Is the body totally stock? I'm trying to tell what's been done here.
Yeah, it's got little subtle things done to it. So you can see the way that the front spoiler, kind of that valance area is being tweaked, and the rockers. And
this is all, has this been widened up? I can't.
It's got a little more flair to it.
Okay, it's got a little bit of, it's very subtle, and it's nicely done, and just kind of a hint of a spoiler here at the back. Because you have to look at it to go, oh, wait a minute, it just looks like a 67 Camaro that's been working out at the gym a little bit.
Yeah.
A little beefier around here. Nicely done, but it's not been chopped or anything like that.
No, and we want to accent the sexy lines that made the car great in the first place, because sometimes too much is too much. A lot of guys change the vehicle too much, and you want it to look heritage. In 10 years, you still want it to look good.
And I always call this pewter. this color, but it's not. What is this?
That's Cerakote.
Okay.
They use it for a number of things. One thing meaning like guns, they coat barrels and things
Right.
like it. Super durable. It's very thin. It's almost as thin as coatings you would get on bolts or hardware.
Is it paint or is it metal?
So it's paint, but it's baked on,
Right.
and then I think 350 degrees,
Okay.
and then we do it at the shop. Super durable, and it's not thick like paint, so when you have areas that slide up and down, whether it's windows or something else, it doesn't scale it off.
Because there really is no chrome on this car, is there?
No, he liked the matte. Robert was really particular about this color, and he was really particular about the trim that went with it. So they go nice together. We actually made this color called Grigio Verde, and really,
Grigio Verde.
yeah, it's just the Italian way of saying gray green.
Oh,
So,
okay,
yeah.
gray green. Okay.
And it's kind of, we called it melted Army Man green, because we knew it was going to Chris.
Melted Army Man green.
Yeah,
Okay.
it kind of evolved. When we first mixed it up, we're like, man, I don't know if this is going to work on the car, but it actually worked really well.
And the interior, the guys did a beautiful job. I always like exposed stitching. It's nicely done, very subtle the way the two colors sort of blend together. Sometimes people have bright red piping. It's just a little too much, This is very nicely done. Very quiet statement there.
Yeah, we had a bunch of swatches laid out. Robert kind of went through, and there's a coffee, and then it's a distressed leather, the lighter one. And it was kind of, we were trying to compare it to Indiana Jones's jacket.
Right.
And then Chris Evans in the first Avengers movie had a leather jacket that was very similar to that distressed, and we kind of copied that technique for the interior.
Can we open the hood? Let's see how she looks under there. Oh, and this is the scoop, of course.
Yep, exactly. Airflow is always good. So,
well, it's a nice, clean installation, isn't it?
basically, we just kind of made some things to dress it up. I call this car as like a kind of gentleman's touring car, if you will.
Right.
It's not crazy with a ton of inner fenders and fab work. It's kind of a nice beginner basic package that someone can enjoy and drive. It doesn't overheat in traffic. It's serviceable. It's reliable.
Yeah, it's really well.
Yeah. Wagner Performance makes the front drive for it.
Right.
Carl Wagner, great guy. He does the coilovers and everything on the valve covers. Again, the Whipple supercharger, nice combination.
Is this a factory piece?
That's a later Camaro version,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
And
okay.
Yeah, Detroit Speed makes a really nice package for that and installs really well.
I love the way the headers go around the steering box without it gets close without kind of boiling.
Very true.
Boy, very clean.
Yeah, very simple, very basic in a way, but it's in LA traffic. When Robert used to drive it, you could sit there and idle and it wouldn't overheat. That was the advantage. And Chris drives it on the East Coast, and I think he drives it 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Yeah.
They really put the miles on.
And I just love these nicely done struts here. These
Yeah, those are actually Ring Brothers.
to hold the hood.
Another-
They are Ring Brothers.
Yeah,
yeah.
great group of guys from Wisconsin like us.
Yeah, very nicely done. Yeah, that really looks good. And you got the same sort of theme here with what'd you call this finish again?
Yeah, so we just mirrored the Cerakote finish.
Right, Cerakote,
and we did it in a satin PPG finish. So it all kind of goes with the car. It flows.
Now, is this an aftermarket hood, or did you guys design this coupe?
Yeah, actually, the hood was done previous to us. Robert had another firm that was working on it.
Right.
And I think he maybe had some hard times.
Yeah.
So he had 3 cars all tore apart in process. And believe it or not, we met one of his guys at the Grand National Roadster Show, and he saw our Charger Tantrum. You might remember.
Oh, yeah, we shot that on the show.
Yeah. And he's like, he really liked what we did, and the way he's like, hey, Robert's got this, car and baskets. Can you help out?
Right.
And we became the superhero.
It's amazing how many. I just spoke to a guy the other day that went through this. He had a Mustang, and he gave it to a guy not far from here, and the guy took off, took the car apart, sold a bunch of the part, just ripped them off. It's really sad. It's really sad. You always want to check out your builder who's ever doing it, because
It's a very common tale.
This guy was my age. He bought this Mustang when he was in high school.
Oh.
Now I spoke to him just the other day. We've been helping him track it down. He just got it back, but it's missing the engine and the transmission. But he got the car back.
Yeah.
But the guy left it outside with the windows open, and it just terrible. Just a complete scam. Not even attempting to fix it. And I ran into some hard times. It wasn't even that. It was just an out and out scam. It was really sad.
It happens so much.
I know.
And a lot of guys, a lot of builders, and it's not always their fault, but they have big dreams and wild imaginations that they can just take on so many projects and they can't.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a basket case.
Yeah, what you don't want is somebody learning on your car.
Yes.
We've never done a Mustang before, so we're going to read all. Meanwhile, they're charging you while I read the books and do all this kind of stuff and experiment. So you want to get someone who's done it before.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the key is drivability. A lot of guys
Right.
will build a car that looks great. All of a sudden you take it on the freeway or doing whatever, and it's just not fun.
The number of cars we've had here where fenders rub, and the car car is great. You can't go left. What? You just can't go left.
Right.
Okay, so you have to go around the world the other way, because you can't go. But other than that, other than not being able to go left, it's really a great car. Okay, well, thanks. I appreciate it. They don't tell you this stuff until,
Oh yeah. To the check clear, then they'll tell you.
yeah. Someday we should do a whole episode on just things that have gone wrong. It's hilarious. Well, let's close this. I really like that scoop. I thought they did a nice job
Yeah.
of integrating that.
Really did.
See, just the fact that you can slam this hood and it comes down on the pins. The number of times you go to shut it, you have to push the hood
yeah.
to the left. There you go. Cool, very good. Okay, let's move to the back here.
Sure.
What else we got? Can we let's take a look at the trunk. Let's see what we got in there.
Yeah, so Gabe's Custom Upholstery did the interior work, and they trimmed out the trunk nice. So
nice.
A lot of room.
I love the battery cover here. Nicely done there. Look at that. Beautiful. So what do we have here? Explain what this is.
So it senses the draw, and if you are left your lights on and you're going to a restaurant or something, it'll cut the battery off. So it's a little remote, and Chris uses it for storage or something. You just hit a lock, and it cuts all the power to the car.
So battery disconnect switch.
Yeah,
okay.
And it's keyless. So
very good. And of course, the C-Tech charger. This, we use C-Tech here. They really are the best. There's some of these battery tenders come from countries you never heard of or mysterious places, and they boil battery, and they're just not very good. C-Tech is really the best.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, that's standard on Ferrari, Maserati, Corvette. I mean, they really are good. We use them on all our stuff. I like what you did here with the gas cap.
Yeah,
nicely integrated there. Beautifully done.
Thank you. Yeah, the gray and the melted Armenian green really go together, and that's what we kind of.
So what's all behind here? Audio equipment?
Audio, yeah.
Okay.
When Robert picked the sound system, he's really into music, and he just wanted something that was really, going to work well. So we had all that integrated, and it sounds really nice.
And that's a stock trunk lid, correct?
Yeah, factory deck lid, and then this is carbon fiber, just painted.
Oh, okay. Well, I like the fact you painted the carbon fiber. Carbon fiber has gotten so common now. You don't have to. When it first came out, carbon fiber, and they would have an arrow pointing to the carbon fiber, and it would say CF right here. Look at the. Now it's become sort of the norm, and then you can just paint it.
Yeah, it's a nice secondary styling piece.
Yeah. The lower piece is that stock?
Yeah, it's just been kind of massaged a little bit, the corners and everything, so it kind of smooth and around the license plate. So we kind of want to keep that heritage look.
Right. Stock tail lights?
Yeah, those are stock. We just cleaned them up a little bit, two-tone colors, and then a little bit brighter the bulbs.
Yeah. Oh, okay. LEDs probably.
Yeah, because he likes to drive at night, and he's always going to people's houses, and it's a car you could take to dinner and drive all the time.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure it was friendly.
Well, can we take this for a ride?
Love to.
Oh, let's do it. Let's give it a shot. Sounds healthy. Press D.
Yep.
Put our foot in a little bit, see what she does. Wow. It's breaking loose all the time. Yeah.
Chris got pretty used to it at the 435 horsepower, but now I think it's going to be a lot of fun for him.
You had the driver's ed mode there.
Yeah, right. When we got to downtown Atlanta, we were showing him how to do brake stands with it and everything else, and that was a lot of fun. Have you had much experience with the new DI LS motors? The ones they're using the new Camaros? I haven't seen them really make their way into the pro touring market yet, but maybe
not
they
yet. I haven't really. We took the new ZR1. 175, 179, 182, 190. 200 miles an hour. Woo! 202. We drove that at Milford. We took it 150 miles at 204 miles an hour. Oh, wow. And it was rock steady. It's fantastic. Really. But this... Oh, you can get into trouble real quick with this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wonder if the cops would give Captain America a ticket. It's one of those tricky deals.
Yeah, Chris really kind of became a car guy after this, and now he's venturing into some other stuff, with cars, and it's good.
Yeah, maybe 3 months to 4 months to drive this in Massachusetts before the roads get wet and greasy and snowy,
Yeah, he drives in the rain out there too.
It's really a California car.
Drivability is the key.
Yeah.
Overperformance, I noticed in California. I told Chris, car addiction is worse than any other addiction.
Yeah, yeah.
Some guys are into all kinds of things, but once you're in cars, there's no cure.
Well, a tremendous amount of power. I mean, it really goes, and it holds the road pretty nicely. You know, it's so funny when you're used to sitting in the original, which has a larger wheel, and you sit a little lower in the seat. It takes a while to get acclimated to it. Yeah, I mean, it's handled way better than any '67 Camaro would. I mean, you know,
especially without squeaks and rattles.
Yeah. And the interior is really impressive. Now, you guys use 3D printing to make a lot of these pieces. Is that correct?
Yeah. So Robert was kind of particular about that. So we had the coffee with the distressed leather.
Right.
And then the problem is the integration. A lot of people just slap a radio in the middle of the dash. It doesn't belong there. And we're trying to incorporate it. So we 3D scan the dash, put it into CAD, and design a model that looks good, and then 3D print the air vents, the radio setup.
Yeah, it looks nice. Is that a rear view camera as well?
Yes, rear view camera. We CNC'd all the console areas, and then.
And this is real wood.
This is wood, yeah, and then it's covered like a veneer in this beech wood. So same with the door panels, the ceiling spear, all that. So.
And you really can use the side mirrors. I was surprised.
If only they were electric.
Oh, you can get in trouble with this race easily. Now, is this speedometer driven by cable or is it satellite again?
This one's VSS signal off the tranny.
So, okay. Oh, it's off the transmission, but it's not.
Yeah, not GPS.
I mean, if you go through a tunnel, it doesn't drop, right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah, that's always accurate. And then Robert wanted a machined up that Captain America shield for the horn button.
Right.
Great. And did a really nice placard in the dash. They called it the Steve Rogers version, which is Captain America's
name
in the movie. So pretty cool.
I was afraid to put my foot in it because I think it'll leap sideways. You can't really manually shift this, can you?
You can do this plus minus thing, but yeah, it's kind of.
Seems like you want paddles on here.
They do make an accessory for it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I could have dropped down another gear on that one.
Yeah, they got a nice paddle shift.
What is your end ratio in this, do you know?
370.
Oh, that's a nice one, yeah.
It's nice all around.
And it's a 5-speed or 4-speed?
4-speed.
Oh, 4-speed, yeah. Well, I want to thank Dave from Speed Corps and, of course, Robert Downey Jr. for helping design and put this car together. Of course, Chris Evans, this is his car. So, to our Avenger superhero guys, thank you very much. You built a supercar, so very cool.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jim.
I'm driving Captain America's car, and he can't catch me because I'm in his car. So, Chris, thank you, my friend. Let's see what this thing will do. Oh! See you next week.